Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome everyone, dear devotees. We are reading chapter 11, the universal form or Vishwarup Darshan Yog from Bhagavad Gita. So we finished till verse 31, reading 32 today. Any reflections from last or from this chapter or from last few classes? We are looking at Krishna's universal form. Anything anyone wants to share? No, we'll enter into the chapter then. Okay. Okay, so let's, so right now, so if you remember the last verse where we stopped was where Arjuna asked Krishna. So Arjuna saw Krishna's universal form, right? He's looking at the Vishwarup and then he's relishing it, he's glorifying it, he's offering prayers to the universal form. And then at the end, he asked Krishna, please tell me who you are and what your motive is or what your purpose is. Because this is a great war going to happen and the God himself is there, the Supreme Personality is there, Supreme Person is there. There must be a motive. What is your motive? And Krishna has already shown him the outcome of the war, right? In the last few verses, he showed him how all these Kauravas and the chief warriors from both sides and prominent Kurus are entering into Krishna's mouth and getting destroyed. So now he's asking, what is your motive? What is and who you are? So Krishna is answering that question. So let's read from 11.32. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Kalo asmi loka kshaya krit pravriddho.
Asmi lokashya krit praviddho.
Lokan samartum iha pravritta.
Lokan samartum miha pravritta.
Rite api tvam na bhavishyanti sarve.
Rite pitvam navishyanti sarve.
Yeva sthita pratyanikeshu yodha.
Yeva stitha pratyanekshu yodha.
Hare Krishna, Ravi Prabhu. And so we are just reading from verse 32 and Krishna is now answering to Arjuna's question about who he is and what his motive is. So who wants to read this translation? Yes, Avni, you want to go ahead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the expectation of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Avni. So this is a very important verse. Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So what does Bhagavan say? Kalo asmi, time I am. So this is very famously quoted, Kalo asmi, or time I am. Great destroyer of the worlds. Lokakshaya, that I've come here to destroy all people. I am the great destroyer, the great vanquisher of this world, of everything, of this creation, this manifestation. And he says that, and now he's talking in context of this war. So he's saying that with the exception of the Pandavas and everybody on both the sides will be slain. So he's talking not on the level of the big picture. He's talking in context of the war, what is going to happen, that I will destroy all the prominent people on both sides except the Pandavas. I'm sorry. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, so you know that we are watching Krishna's universal form, right? And okay, and you know that Krishna is trying to attract everybody, right?
अच्छा 7 मिनट में चलो चिनिया हिना चलो पगला तुम्हें क्या रात में
Who is speaking? I cannot.
Priya Mataji. Priya Mataji,
सारी
could you
लड़कियां
please
गई
mute yourself?
हमारे रूममेट वगैरह
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So you know that Krishna is showing this majestic form, this Vishwarupa to everyone, right? To Arjun. And so that is, we discussed about it, that common people get attracted to this grandeur, this majesty, this display of power that Krishna is showing, display of force, right? He sees so many eyes, so many bellies, mouths, crowns, and jewelries and weapons, and then fire is emanating from each mouth. And it can be seen in all directions, right? That was a description of the Vishwarupa that we got from Arjuna. So now he's asking, so this is a very ferocious form, right? We discussed about that. It is a very ferocious form. Arjuna is saying that this is a very karal, very fierce, bhayanak roop that I'm seeing. So he's asking, who are you in this fierce, ferocious form? And Krishna is answering that I am Kal, I'm time, right? So that is why this form is also sometimes called Kal Roop. Why? Because Arjun will see all the destruction that is supposed to happen in this universe at that time during the war. He will see that happening in this form, right? He'll see all these chief warriors entering into the various mouths of this Vishwarupa. So that is why it's also sometimes called Kala Rupa. So he says, I'm the great destroyer of this world, and all the bodies, not their souls cannot be destroyed, but all the bodies will be destroyed. All you will see Drona, Bhishma, Duryodhan, Karna, their chief warriors entering into the mouth. And he says, I will not destroy you, your Pandavas, and then some supporters of Pandavas, they will not be destroyed. So, and then Arjuna asked him, what is your motive? Why have you come here? So I think Krishna already answered that long before, right? Does anyone remember in 4th chapter, he answered, why have I come here? Let's see, does Raina know? Krishna tells why he's come here.
Avni?
No, I think you know that shloka. You just need a hint. She just needs a hint.
He says, whenever and wherever there is destruction of
Yada yada.
Paritranaya sadhunam. Okay. Avni, go ahead.
Yeah. So what all the motives does he mention there in that shloka?
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants. Krishna comes down
And establish the religion.
and establishes it. Well, that's in Yada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says paritranaya sadhunam, right? To deliver the devotees or the sadhus and to annihilate the miscreants. Yes. So in this form, he's showing how he will annihilate the miscreants, right? He's doing both, right? He's giving the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which is establishing the religion. And in this Kal Roop, in this Vishwaroop, he's showing the destruction of all the adharmic people. So he's annihilating the miscreants through this form, right? So that is his two main purposes, to kill the dharma and to establish the dharma, right? So let's read in purport. Prabhupada has mentioned a couple of things that I wanted to point out. So he says, here you see, he asked about the actual mission of this devastating force, right? What is this? He's seeing this devastating feature of Krishna, this fierce roop of Krishna, and they're asking the actual mission. And Krishna says, and Prabhupada is quoting the shloka from Vedas, which says, eventually all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring time. And then towards the end, Prabhupada says, Death could not be checked even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. That everything that is created, right, everything that is being manifested will eventually die. So even if Arjun did not fight, death cannot be checked. They will die in another way. Why not die in this war? And that will be good even for those people that are dying, even those adharmic people that will die on the war while fighting. If they die, they will get a better destination than if they died naturally due to any other cause. Because for Kshatriyas, dying in the battlefield is actually a better destination, is the best gati possible for a warrior, right, than to die outside of the war by any other natural cause. So Krishna is looking at the best solution for everybody. This will be the best for everybody. He's not envious of those people, of those people that are irreligious. Those are also his children, right? He's thinking of the best gati even for them. He has to punish them. Like if there are two kids you have, one of the kid is very nice, one is very naughty. You will punish the naughty person, but you will punish him for his own good. You're not punishing him because you're envious of him. You're punishing him like your own child because you want something good for him. So in this way, Krishna is punishing these people. He wants them to be killed on this battlefield by Arjuna or by the Pandavas. And in this way, they will also get a good destination. So he has the best plan for everybody. And that is why in the next couple shlokas, you will see it is said that if we follow Krishna's plans, we always try to use our own plan. Like Arjuna was trying to put his own plan in. Why don't I just not fight? So, but what would that do? All the adharma will reign for so many years. All these people like Duryodhan and Kauravas that are so adharmic, that did all these bad things to you. Imagine what would they do to the normal people, right? So all this adharma will reign for so many years. You are Kshatriya, you will be running away from war. So you will not be able to get a good destination by running away from war. And these people will die of something else and will kill so many other people and cause so much destruction. So it'll be bad every which way around. Whereas now, if you kill them, the Dharmaraj Yudhishthir will reign for so many years to come. Dharma will be reestablished, right? You would have, you will also get to enjoy the glories and the kingdom, and these people will also be liberated. These people will also get a good destination. So in this way, time is going to destroy everybody, but in which way they should be destroyed, Krishna is guiding Arjuna at this time. So that's what Prabhupada is saying, that time is the all-devouring, it will destroy everybody, right? If you think of any big empires, whether it was Roman Empire, British Empire, everybody thinks at that time we are the lord of this world. But eventually with time, everybody loses their force, loses their power, and get destroyed, right? So everything that is manifested will get destroyed with time. It is a very brutal, strong force, and it is one of the energies of Krishna. So, and then in the last chapter, actually, there were at least 2 or 3 verses where Krishna quoted that I am time, right? He says, I'm among subduers, I'm time. He also said, I'm all devouring death in one of the shlokas. He says, I'm the eternal time, Akshay Kalo. You remember that? He said in at least 2 or 3 verses in 10th chapter. Let me show. Anybody has any questions meanwhile, or comments? So like 10.30, for example, Krishna says, among subduers, I am time, right? Then in 34, he says, I'm all devouring death. Again, all devouring death here means that he's the, by his time energy, he will be seen as the Kal. And then in 10.33, actually, he says, I am inexhaustible time, right? So many times he says that. So this is not nothing new that he's telling Arjun, but in context of this particular form that he has shown Arjun, he's now telling us that this is his Kal Roop, and that is why he can see all these people entering into various mouths and getting destroyed. Is that okay? So let's read. This next one is actually very important. This one is often quoted by devotees and Prabhupada in various lectures. 11.33. Tasmat tvam uttishta yasho labhasva
Tasmat uttishta yasho labhasva
jitva shatrun punkshva rajyam samriddham.
jitva
Satrum Samriddham.
Maevete nihata purvameva
Nihata Purvameva
nimitra matram bhavasavya
Nimittamatram Bhavasa.
Anyone wants to read this?
Hare Krishna. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Hari Bol.
Prabhuji, you want to share anything from this?
So here, as you are explaining before, Mataji, like Krishna is saying that whatever is going to happen or whatever is happening, it's all my plan. And it's going to happen whether you participate or you don't participate. So he's asking here, why don't you participate here and just become a nimit, like become an instrument for me. And then once you become the instrument, you're going to enjoy this prosperous kingdom. I will be able to serve the, I will be able to do the whatever the reason I have come here, it will be also established. So you just get up and you fight, continue to do your duties and think about me all the time, and that way everything will be like a win-win situation.
Yes, very bold. So yeah, so there are three keywords in this shloka. One is yasho labhasva, that you will get the glory, win all the glory. The other word is in the last line, nimit matram, just become my nimit matram, matlab instrument, just my tool. And the third word is, for the first time, he's referring to Arjuna as Sabyasachi, right? Sabyasachi is one of the names of Arjuna, right? So in the entire Bhagavad Gita, this is the first time he's calling Arjuna Sabyasachi, and that is a very important reason why he's calling him Sabyasachi now. So Sabyasachi means somebody who's very good at shooting arrows in the fight, in the war. Okay, expert warrior basically. So he's calling him an expert warrior, that you are an expert warrior. But even if so let's say somebody is an expert at something. Somebody has an expertise in music, in warrior, or in writing, in painting, in dancing, whatever expertise, in medicine, in anything, right? Any expertise anybody has, right? We know that expertise is coming from Krishna, right? We know that it is just one of the spark of Krishna's opulences. We read that in last chapter. Krishna has established that already. So he's saying you may be a very good expert warrior, but even you are just a tool in my hand. You become a tool in my hand. So that means anybody who's an expert in anything should understand that they're getting their expertise from Krishna, and they just have to become a nimit matra for Krishna. They should not glorify themselves for having that talent or that expertise, but they should know that that expertise has been given to them by Krishna, number one. Number two, they have to use that in the service of Krishna. They have to become nimit matra for Krishna. They have to become a tool, an instrument for Krishna, right? And number three, if they do that, then they will get yasho labhasva, then they will get the glory. Okay. So instead of thinking, I am doing this, I have this talent, I will do this for my sense gratification, then that person will be degraded. Then that person will get entangled in the cycle of birth and death. But on the other hand, if you do this, you not only win glories, yasho labhasva, you win the glory, you enjoy the outcome of the war, you get the kingdom, enjoy a flourishing kingdom, reign on it for many years. but also because you were just an instrument of the Krishna's plan, of Krishna's will, right? You use your talent, being a Sabyasachi in Krishna's will, Krishna will give you all the credit. So you don't have to earn any credit for yourself. I will give you all the credit. So Krishna is so merciful. He will make arrangement that if we are a part of Krishna's plan, if you're an instrument of Krishna's plan, then he will give us all the credit. He doesn't want, he's not a insecure master, right? In this material world, we see that people get very insecure. Like even a teacher, if a student is doing better than them, the teacher will get insecure. Oh, this student is going to supersede me in this field. People get like that. The boss gets insecure of his subordinate in an office or in a lab, in research. I've seen so many times people steal each other's work. The bosses steal the other person's work because they steal their subordinates' ideas, because they don't want the subordinate to get all the credit. But Krishna is not like that. Those are insecure people. Those are insecure, materialistic minded people, right? But Krishna is like a loving father. He's actually very proud of his children. So he wants to give credit to his children. You do this work for me because this is my will. You do this work for me and you will get all the glories, all the credit. So Arjun will be glorified for winning this war, for being a Sabyasachi. Oh, he's the great conqueror who threw arrows expertly in this war. So he'll be known as Sabyasachi, right? So that is the main import of this verse. So and for us, we have to remember that whatever we have been given, all the resources, anything anybody is able to do, even if we do service for Krishna, like as devotees, we are trying to do so many services for Krishna, right? So we should know that those services are actually made possible by Krishna himself, because whatever resources we are using, those belong to Krishna. Whatever people we are employing in that particular services, they belong to Krishna. Even the ideas, the intelligence that comes to us on how to do that expertly comes from Krishna. So we are just doing Krishna's plan by using all Krishna's tools, right? So imagine like a pen. A pen is writing something, and somebody writes something very nice. Do you say that the pen wrote that nice article, or that nice song, that nice rhyme or a poem was written by that pen? No, the pen was just a tool, and it was the poet or the writer that used that pen to write something very beautiful, right? So we have to just become that pen in the hand of Krishna, and then a nice, glorious story will be written out for us. So not only by carrying out Krishna's plans, we get Krishna's mercy and blessing, but also we get freed from this entanglement of birth and death. And this is known as a karma, right? We get his mercy also, we attract Krishna's mercy. And so if we just surrender, eventually all the Krishna's plans will be revealed to us. You must have heard a guy, when I remember when I was like 2 years back or so, somebody told me, one of the senior devotees, that just leave everything to Krishna's will, just keep following this path of Krishna consciousness, and soon Krishna's plans will be revealed to you. So I found that very nice statement. What does it mean by Krishna's plans will be revealed to me? Because otherwise we are just following our own plans, right? Like Arjuna was trying to just follow his own plans. But now Krishna's plans will be revealed to us. But that is only possible if we come under Krishna's shelter. Samashrataye padpallava plavam, right? Surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. Is that, anybody has any reflections on that or thoughts?
Mataji, may I share something? I was just reminded of, in this context, where Arjuna is referred to as Sabyasachi and asked to pick up his Gandiv and fight. Something similar, like in Prabhupada, when Beatles, George Harrison came in contact with him and he was ready to leave everything, music and everything, and take Yashar, and Prabhupada advised him to continue with his music and use that music in the service.
Yes. Yes, Mataji, very nice pastime. So everybody knows, has heard of Beatles? right? They were a very popular band at that time. And George Harrison was one of their prominent lead guitarist. And he wanted to become a brahmachari in the temple. He wanted to leave everything like Mataji shared. But Prabhupada told him, no, your music has very strong power. This is a talent that has been given to you by Krishna. You should use this in service of Krishna. Don't leave this. Use this to make Krishna conscious songs. And then they went on to write so many and sing so many Krishna conscious songs. We actually have those, the vinyls for those. I'll share one time. I'll share sometime those. And they have Krishna's picture. They have the chariot where Krishna is giving the Bhagavad Gita updesh to Arjuna, all that, all those pictures in there. So thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Yes. Yeah. So in this way, you know, Prabhupada writes, actually, he's elaborating in the purport that the whole world is moving according to the plan of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish people who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan and all manifestations are but accidental formations, right? Like the Big Bang Theory, huh? Okay, everything just comes together and then the universes are formed, the material creation forms, see? But nothing is actually accidental in this world. See this line, foolish people think that everything is accident, these things are accidental. But how can it be accidental? The way if you look at our material creation, how can these things be accidental? The way the sun rises, the sun sets, the way the moon waxes and wanes, and the way the seasons change, right? So much planning is there. Like we cannot plan things that properly the way Krishna has planned things in this material creation, right? So even though Krishna is not bound by time, right? Mataji, I think Sheetal Mataji asked this question one time, that Krishna is not bound by time, yet we see that Vishnuji wakes up and sleeps, right? According to certain time. So see, he's not doing things whimsically, right? He's doing things in a very orderly fashion, even though he's not bound by time. Krishna is not bound by this time. Time is the energy of this material creation only, right? And he's transcendental to anything in this material creation. He's transcendental to time, but he doesn't do things whimsically. He comes once in the day of Brahmaji, right? Krishna always comes once in the day of Brahmaji. We know that, right? Similarly, and then yugas change, the cycle of yugas goes on, and in a particular yuga, so many avatars come. So he does not do things. Things are done in such an orderly fashion, as if they are following a pattern. They are following a time. But actually, Krishna is not dependent on time. He's not bound by time. But he does that for us in a very orderly fashion, right? We take birth, we grow old, we have disease, and we die. In a timely fashion, things go. It is not whimsically. So that is nothing is done accidental. Prabhupada is sharing in the purport. And later on in the purport, Prabhupada says, there is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is this plan? Okay, this is very, very important. Please read carefully, very, very carefully read this. This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. Okay, so this is the plan. What is the plan? Somebody will say, Kahe ko duniya banai. Kya hota hai song? Duniya banane wale. Yes, Mataji sharing.
नहीं माताजी वही है, दुनिया बनाने वाले क्या तेरे मन में समाई, काहे को दुनिया बनाई.
So he's sharing, Prabhupada is sharing कि काहे को दुनिया बनाई. There is a specific plan. ऐसा नहीं है कि कैसे भी दुनिया बनाई. There is a plan why the dunya was made. What is that plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. So the world, the material creation was made so that that is why we are called fallen souls. We have fallen into this material world, and we have to elevate ourselves from it and go back to Godhead, back to home, right? Imagine this like a hospital, right? When you go to a hospital, you don't go to the hospital to stay there, to make your room very nice and beautiful. You go there to get better and come out of there all healthy, right? And you never want to go back to the hospital again, do you? You just want to take your medicine or whatever procedure and come out all healthy and go home. You don't. So that this is like a hospital. We are in a diseased state. So come here, take the medicine of chanting Harinam, follow the path of Krishna consciousness. That is the procedure given to us to get better from the disease state, and then never come back to the hospital again. Go get out and go back home. So that is a very popular analogy given. Someone is raising their hand.
Avni has a question, ma'am.
Yes, Avni, please.
Okay, so you know how you said that we're fallen souls?
Mm-hmm.
So how did we fall?
Yeah, who would like to answer? So this is Avni's question, very nice question, Avni. And that is the whole crux of the matter, right? How did we fall? What is the problem? So we are eternal part and parcels of Krishna, right? We are spirit souls, we are Satchidanand, right? So what happened? Why did we fall? Why did we come to this material world? So who will answer this? Let's see. Okay, Navya, go ahead.
Because we didn't want to be with Krishna, we wanted to enjoy by ourselves.
We wanted to enjoy by ourselves, yes. I think Nirbhay Prabhu also wanted to answer. Please go ahead. Would Vaidi like to try and answer? You heard Avni's question, right? How did we fall? We are fallen souls. How did we fall?
Want to try? Navya gave the answer, very close answer.
Yeah, that's what I thought the answer was.
Okay.
At first, I thought it was just because of our past karma. Then what Navya said made more sense.
Okay,
Yes.
Nirbhay Prabhu, yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So that is what happens once we have already here, then we start into the, once we are in the material creation, then the karma cycle starts. But even before we are in the material creation, the question is really, how did we even come to this material creation in the first place? So those jivas who are envious of Krishna, so it is said, when we are envious of Krishna, that is when we want to enjoy by ourselves. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and all the other living entities are Prakriti, are like to be enjoyed. Prakriti means to be enjoyed. So the Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, everyone else is to be enjoyed. But when this living entity gets envious, say, no, I want to enjoy. I don't want, why is Krishna only the enjoyer? Why should I not be the enjoyer? So Krishna says, okay, try it. He makes the material creation, and the living entities who want to enjoy by themselves, they come to this material creation, try to enjoy, and they actually forget that what a miserable condition we are in, being away from our constitutional nature, which is to serve Krishna. The actual enjoyment for the living entity is to be enjoyed, is to serve Krishna. But when we forget that, then we end up in this material creation, and then the karmas come, the cycle of karma comes, because till we are in this material nature and we are trying to enjoy, then we are under the modes of material nature. And till we try to enjoy separate from Krishna, we will get, Krishna is giving us the liberty that we can try to enjoy. And as Paramatma, we have read in Bhagavad Gita, he allows us. So if we want to do something, Krishna has to sanction that. So Paramatma sitting in our body, Paramatma actually sanctions it and says, okay, you want to enjoy like that? Okay, go. If you want to eat meat, okay, good. We'll give you even a better body to do that. So next life you'll become a tiger or a carnivore that can do that even more nicely. And same for the other regulative principles. That, if you want to do other things, then you'll get a body accordingly for that when there are no restrictions, right, for the human body. The human body is thus our chance to redeem ourselves when we have been in different species. In different species, there is no karma. So actually it is, you are in a safer place that you're doing all the nonsense, but you're not getting karmas from that. It's only in the human form that you can either utilize it and get back to Krishna, or you can get in the bondage of karmas more and get back into the 84 lakh species, when at least you would not be getting a more ugra karma. So this is the benevolence of Krishna. Is that clear?
Can I ask something clarification?
Yes.
So in the context, when you say that this was before the material creation, that the jivas or the souls, as we are eternal, we are with Krishna, and then we develop, or they develop the enviousness, and that's how they fall. So if they are like situated in the spiritual realm, aren't we already beyond those material modes? Then why do those feelings of enviousness, how should we understand that? How does that come?
We have free will. So Krishna doesn't take over the free will. That is why even when we come into this material creation, we still have got the free will. So remember that little astrology video I shared, you commented upon it, that you've seen those. So in that, it is mentioned the same, that we have got a free will. Krishna doesn't take away that free will. So even in the spiritual world, we have got that free will. And once somebody wants to enjoy separate from Krishna, then they go to material creation. So that free will is always there. It is not taken away.
Yes,
So
Veda
even in
is
the
asking.
physical world, that free will is there. And, even though Krishna sanctions, there is that, that's the concept of the past karmas, that it's like your destination is already decided based upon your past karmas. But what you do during that, on the flight, let's say from point A to point B, is your free will.
I have another question.
Yes.
So when you go back to Godhead, does that feeling come again? The envy, does it come again, and is it just another whole cycle?
So it should not, ideally, because so this is a very good question, and I think I had this question one time myself, because we say, in Bhagavad Gita it says, once you go back to Godhead, you will not be falling down again.
Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama.
So I had that question also, and the answer I received, and I hope I don't misspeak when I am repeating the answer, but basically it is that we suffer so much, the soul suffers so much in this material world, that it does not forget its misery after that. So once you go back, there is, once, like you say, right, you put your hand in fire for one time, two times, the father is saying, don't put, it will hurt you. Okay. So the child doesn't listen. But one time, if he puts a hand in fire, he will never do it again. You're like, oh, okay, this hurts. I'm not going to do this again. So that is our condition. That once we get burnt, कहते हैं ना दूध का जला, वो जला छाछ भी फूक के पीता है. So it's like that we have suffered so much. So when we go back to Godhead, we don't forget that, that it is a really bad state going back to this material world. Bhaiya, maaf karo. We don't want to enjoy ourselves.
It's like the analogy is given of a child who looks at her mother, and she sees her cooking and doing so many chores, and she thinks, oh, this looks very enjoyable. I want to do this too. So she says, Mommy, I also want to cook. So mommy says, okay, you can't cook on these kitchen stove and everything, right? It's too dangerous for you. So she buys her a small kitchen set. So the child starts using that kitchen set and pretending that she's the boss of the kitchen and making things and pretending that I'm making this and that. But then when the time comes that she gets hungry, she gets really hungry. So she comes to mom and she says, I'm hungry. Mom says, but I gave you the kitchen set. Why don't you make your food? No, that is not satisfying my hunger. So in the similar way, we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, just like the child wanted to have her own kitchen set, right? We have been given some small resources for enjoyment that we try to use. But when the real hunger strikes, right, then we go to, when the real problems of life come, when we are suffering from disease or death or losses in our life of various kinds, then we go to the Supreme Lord Krishna, because we know that he's the ultimate refuge, right? We take his shelter, that I'm suffering. And then the mother will pick up the child. Okay, beta, I'll feed you, right? So the Krishna also takes us under his fold then, okay. So if you have, so not only in the dukkhas, but also we say, Prabhupada's instruction is to remember Krishna at all times. Always remember Krishna, right? Never forget Krishna. So not only during dukkhas, but also during a comfortable situation, we have to remember Krishna at all times. Because कैसे बोलते, दुख में सिमरन सब करें, सुख में करे न कोई, सुख में जो सिमरन करे तो दुख काहे का होए, right? So okay,
Does everyone have a question, or
Vaidehi?
Hare Krishna, I have a question. So when Nirbanko said that people or maybe not people, but
Living entities.
yeah, in lower species, they don't get karma. How is it they don't get karma? Because then if they don't have karma, either kind, they can't go like rise up or like go down.
They'll always rise up.
Yes, so that is the, the nice way Krishna has set up things, that in those the forms of lower consciousness, you do not have a control of things. So like, you say that if a goat is in front of a lion, then it will kill it. It doesn't have any restraint, right? So but in the human form, we have that option and restraint and the higher consciousness to control the mind by the intelligence. So that is why, like they say, what is the Spider-Man saying? With more
Power
comes
comes
responsibility, right? So with great power comes great responsibility. So with this human form of life, we have got this great power, that intelligence, that we can control our mind. With that comes the responsibility that now we are also going to be bound by our karmas. Unless you submit to Krishna and you're doing everything under the blanket of Krishna consciousness, which means that all your actions that you're doing it for Krishna. So you're not going to do any action that is bad, that is not going to take you closer to Krishna. So automatically you'll not do something that is ugra karma. That's bad karma, vikarma.
So actually all the species are bhogyoni except humans. Even demigods are bhogyoni. So they are only for enjoying whatever pious acts anybody did in their human lives. And let's say they become a demigod or they go to the swargas. There is no karma applicable there. Karma yoni is only human yoni. Human species is the only karma yoni where you get the karma. So all the other species, whether it's animal, plants, demigods, everybody else is bhog yoni. So whatever activities you do in your human life, decide whether you get elevated to the level of swargas or demigods or get degraded to the level of lower, like animals or plants or something. So all those yonis, all those species are bhog yoni. That is why human species, durlabh manav janam, we're just singing, right? I forgot the line already. Because manav janam is durlabh. That is why we have to make the best use of human life. Because if you get elevated to, if you do a lot of pious acts and you get elevated to the level of swargas or heavenly planets or demigods, then you will just be enjoying and doing sense gratification, and that will actually not be very helpful at all. So only in this life we can do bhakti and get out. So that is why Prabhupada, coming back to our purport, Prabhupada is saying that we have to get out of here. Like I was giving the analogy of hospital, right? Take your medicine, take the medicine of Krishna consciousness, meditation of chanting the japa, Harinam, and get out of this hospital, right? And never come back again. So we should all have an exit plan, because Krishna says that death can come at any time. Nobody's guaranteed of any amount of life they will get. But he does guarantee that if we work for him, if we become an instrument for him, we will get all the credit, right? That is amazing. So let's just align all our work, all our talents, all our whatever resources we have. If you have money, if you have house, if you have family, if you have friends, the community, align everybody and everything towards Krishna, and you get the glories, Yashoda Bhaswa, right? So isn't that song, famous song? Karte ho tum kanhaiya, mera naam ho raha hai. Right? So that is the mood of Krishna, that he glorify his devotees. Okay, is that okay? Shall we move, or anybody has any other questions? Go to the next one. Okay, 11.34. Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratham cha
Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratham cha
karnam tathanyam api yodhaviran
karnam tayanapi yodhaviran
maya hatam stvam jahima vyathistata
maya hata swam jahima vatishtha
Yudhya swajeta sirane saptanan.
Yudhya swajeta sirane saptanan.
Would anyone like to read this?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadrath, Karna, and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Haribol.
Mataji, want to share anything?
Yeah, Mataji is so clear cut. I think he's continuing with his instructions here and saying that that Drona, Bhishma, Jayadrath, all the warriors that have assembled in the war, because he's the time devouring factor. So they have been destroyed. So he should just act as an instrument and just kill. And by those actions, he should not be disturbed. So he's saying just simply fight. And also, he's already told Arjuna that previously also that everybody is going to die except the Pandavas. And here again, he's reinforcing that you will vanquish your enemies in the battle. So,
yes. Yes, Nave, you want to share something?
If they have all been destroyed, then how can Arjuna fight with them?
Yeah, it's just this is a Kal Roop, right? Krishna is Trikaldarshi. He's the time himself. He just said Kalo Asmi, right? So he's showing him that it's basically like saying consider them as good as dead, because that is the purpose of Krishna. He has come here to kill all these and highlight these miscreants. So he said, I'm going to kill them anyway. I want you to become my tool in killing them. He is giving Arjuna a chance. Why don't you kill them? I'm going to kill them anyway. If you don't kill them, he will find somebody else. But Krishna is giving this supreme chance of becoming his instrument in this amazing plan that Krishna has. So by saying this, that I've already killed them, he's assuring Arjun that consider them as good as dead. They've already been destroyed by me. Maya hatams. Ma vyathishtha, matlab don't be disturbed. Don't be disturbed, just fight. All you have to say is yes. Just say yes to Krishna's will, and I'll carry out this plan, right? So you're like, I mean, imagine Bhishma was so powerful, right? Mataji was asking last time. Bhishma is so powerful, right? He even defeated Parshuram himself. He could could fight with the entire Pandavas army and annihilate them within a day. So how is it possible that Bhishma was destroyed? So it is only because Krishna was on the side of Pandavas, right? Krishna was giving all the power, the force that the Pandava side needed to destroy Bhishma and the others, right? So he's just saying that don't even worry about me. Don't even worry about them. They're already destroyed by me. Just fight. Just say yes to my plan, and you will vanquish your enemies in this battle. So he's reassuring. And in the part Prabhupada is writing, Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he's so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees and carry out his plans according to his desire. So that is why we should align our life in such a way that it is all acting according to his desires. So then somebody might say, how would I know what is the desire of Krishna? What do you think? How can we know what is the will of Krishna? We understood that we have to do everything according to his will. How do we know what is his will? Arjun can hear him directly. We don't hear Krishna directly. So what do we? Yes, let's see. Avinash or Abhishek, would you like to answer that? How do you know what is Krishna's will in our life? What is his plan?
Just keep doing your karma, whatever comes on your way, and we will understand all this.
Okay. So let's say whatever karma comes in my way. So let's say today a friend comes to me and says, okay, let's go to the bar and have some drinks. That is coming my way right now in my life. What should I do?
No, but you should have some like thing what if you don't want to drink, if you don't drink, if you don't smoke, you don't do anything. Whatever, like if your friend or even whoever the person told me to do that, if that is wrong, means that is wrong. You can't do that.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So
Just
basically,
try to please the Krishna, the work by which Krishna got pleased. So we should always try to work like that only.
okay. Yes. Yeah. So I think what you're trying to say is anything that is not very pleasing to Krishna, right? So for example, things that are against Shastric injunctions, like polluting our body with, let's say, drinking or smoking or gambling or illicit relationships, right? They're all against Shastric injunctions, and Shastras are written by Krishna, right? He's the compiler of all the Vedas, he says. So those things that are against the injunctions of Shastra should definitely not be done, because that will be against the will of Krishna, right? That is one thing you said. And then I think Navya was trying to share. Go ahead, Navya.
Do what the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam says, and follow in the footsteps of Lord Krishna and his devotees, and just do your karma, like do your work.
Okay, so follow in the footsteps of devotees, right? Yadiyada charti shreshtas, or we say tat tat karma pravartanat. So basically, whatever the path that has been outlined by great Vaishnavas and Acharyas, right? Like Harudas Thakur taught us to chant the names, right? Or all these, the whole disciplic succession has given us the whole process of Krishna consciousness, right? So follow the instructions of Guru and pure devotees of the Lord, right? And then other things, right? All the ABCDE. So basically staying in association of devotees, because in the association of devotees, you will know what is the Krishna's will. If whatever your actions are not pleasing to the devotees, then that is most likely against the Krishna's will, right? Especially if they're pure devotees of the Lord, you take instructions from them. So you take instructions from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, right? Guru is the pure devotees, Sadhu is the association of devotees, and Shastra is the scripture. So I think all of you mentioned all these points. So carry your life according to Shastric injunctions, in the association of devotees, and with the guidance of spiritual master or pure devotees of the Lord, right? Because they're all representatives of Krishna. Shastras are representative of Krishna's, and Vaishnavas and spiritual master are the representatives of Krishna. So how do you know Krishna's will? You ask their representatives, and these three are his representatives, right?
Hare Krishna. Just wanted to add on one thing, that this is commonly, sometimes can be misunderstood. I'm not saying that was said in that spirit, but just following our karma can be misunderstood, right? We have discussed that in the earlier chapters. We discussed what is karma and what is nishkam karma yoga, and if karma is what we are doing, then it should be in that akarma platform. So to get into that akarma platform, basically whatever work we are doing, we should be doing it for Krishna. So it is not just doing our work, it is doing the work for Krishna. So let's say, because somebody might say doing my work, and again, I'm not saying that's the spirit was said, but it can be, if it's not clear, then it can be confusing. So the work that we are doing and we are talking about, it is doing work in the service of Krishna. So let's say I'm doing my job, but I'm doing it in the service of Krishna, then it is okay. But if I'm just doing my job, be it be a pious job, be it be feeding people just even or something, it's pious, I'm just doing my karma, getting good karma, that is also not the highest understanding still. Hare Krishna.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, he said plans of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence, right? So in this way, you won't get trapped in the samsara davanal and be able to get out of it. Okay, let's keep reading a couple more at least. So now Sanjay speaking, 11.35. Sanjay Uvacha.
Sanjay Uvacha.
Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya.
Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya.
Kritanjalirvepamana kiriti.
Kritanjali Vrepamana Kiriti.
Namaskritva bhuya eva Krishnam.
Namaskritva bhuya evaha Krishnam.
Sagad-gadam bhita pranamya.
Sagad gadam bhita pranamaya.
Okay, who would like to read this?
Read it.
Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows.
Hari bol. So now Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra, what did Arjun do? So Arjun heard what Bhagwan had to say, that I am time, carry my will, right? All these people are already destroyed by me. So after hearing these, Arjun is now trembling, and with folded hands, Kritanjalir, Vepamana means trembling. He is offering obeisances. And Gadgadam means his voice is faltering, right? Vadanam Gadgada Ruddhaya Gira. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Shikshashtakam that when will my voice falter while chanting your name? Like, I'm so hard-hearted that when I chant your name, no emotions come. When will it happen that my voice will falter when I chant your name? That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Vadanam Gadgada Ruddhaya Gira. Anyway, so Arjun's voice is now faltering here, and he's with folded hands offering obeisances to Krishna again and again. Okay. Let's, I think, so there is nothing here to read. We'll just keep going to the next one. So Arjun is basically overcome by a lot of emotions here. And what is he saying next? Let's see. 11.36. Arjuna Vacha.
Arjuna Vacha.
Sthane Rishikesha Tava Prakritya.
Sthane Rishikesha Tava Prakirtaya.
Jagat Prarishyati Anurajyate Cha.
Jagat Praharshati Anurajyate Cha.
Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti.
Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti.
Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangha.
Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangha.
Can someone read this?
Krishna. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demigods are afraid.
Demons.
The demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now Arjuna is again offering prayers and to Krishna. He's saying, Rishikesh, which we know is the Lord of senses or Master of senses, that the devotees or the Siddh Purush, the perfected being Siddha Sangha, are offering respects to this fierce form, right? They're fearful, but they are still offering respects to this form, whereas the demons are fleeing here and there. So when demons look at this fierce roop of form of yours, they are getting scared that, you know, they'll get destroyed now. And so they are running here and there. And he's also saying some other things, like he's saying, you are the maintainer of the entire world. You are the sustainer of this entire world, and you are the object of worship of the devotees, right? So that is why the perfected beings offer their respectful homage. So he's the object of worship of devotees, right? And Krishna says that if you make me your exclusive center of devotion, right? Ananyas chintayantu mam, right? Exclusive devotion, Ananya Natha or Kevalya Pata, meaning that I'm your only Lord, exclusive Lord, no other shelter. I'm your only shelter, right? So he says, Ananyas chintayantu mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham, that I'll carry what you lack, right? So even though Arjun himself may not be able to kill Bhishma and the rest of the army, they may not be capable, but I'll carry what you lack, right? So you make me your center of worship. So that is why for devotees, he's the only object of worship. And even Queen Kunti says, right? Matir madhu pate sakrit, like the Ganga goes in towards the ocean. Ganga only knows to flow towards the ocean. So similarly, Tvai me nanya vishya, you are my only shelter, you are my only Lord. And even in that Mother Draupadi's prayer we heard last time, right? What did she say? Krishna tada krosha dananyanatha. Krishna with grievance, with anguish shouted that you are my only Lord. Ananyanatha, I have no other shelter. You are my only shelter, right? So that is the mood of devotees, that he is the only object of worship for them. And Krishna is also the destroyer of undesirables, right? That is why the demons, the undesirables, the undesirable elements of this world, irreligious people are running here and there. They flee here and there. And he said, all this is rightly done. So his actions are all right for everybody. They're rightly meant for everybody. They're equally good for all. He has no impartial behavior. He has no dvesh or enviousness for anybody. So that is what Arjuna is, how he's glorifying Krishna. And that is what Prabhupada is elaborating. Krishna is the maintainer, object of worship for the devotees and destroyer of the undesirable. In the end here, Prabhupada says, when Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others who were demons and atheists could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form, they fled. Because they worry. So even the demigods and all are also fearful of looking at this form, but they're still praising and glorifying this form in reverence, in wonder, right? They're not running away from it. This is their Bhagwan. So they're not running away. They know this is one of the forms of Krishna. So they are praying to it with awe and reverence. But the demons now worry that they will be killed by this form. They'll be devoured, eaten up. So they are running away here and there, right? Okay, does anyone want to share anything? If not, we can cover one or two more prayers of Arjuna. He's repeating himself a lot, you will see in these verses. But like we talked about last time, the repetition is just his expression of wonder at seeing the form. So before he described the form, then he glorified the form, then he's praying to the form, and then he'll pay obeisances to the form, and then he will make some requests. We'll not read the request today, we'll just read the prayers today. So let's read 11.37. Kasmacha te nanameran mahatman.
Kasmacha te nanameran mahatman.
Gariya se brahmano piyadikartre.
Gariya se brahmano piyadikatre.
Ananta devesha jagan nivasa.
Ananta Devesha Jaganivasa
Tvam aksharam sadasattat param yat.
Tvam Aksharam Sadasatat Param Yat.
Be bold. Would someone like to read this?
Hare Krishna.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Hare Krishna. Translation. O Great One, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you, O limitless One, God of gods, refuge of universe? You are the invincible source, the cause of all the causes, transcendental to the material manifestation. Hare Bol.
Very bold. So he's saying, "O great one," this is actually also famous, greater even than Brahma, Gariyase Brahmano, greater than Brahma. You are the original creator, right? We know that Brahmaji is known as the creator of this world, but Brahmaji is a secondary creator, right? He appears from the Nabhi or the belly button of which Vishnu? Who knows? There are 3 Purusha avatars, right? So which one of those Purusha avatars Brahmaji appears? Garbhodakshay Vishnu, right? Because Garbhodakshay Vishnu is the one that lays in the Garbhodak ocean in each universe, and from his belly button the stem of lotus emerges, and on that lotus is the Lord Brahma, right? Who creates that particular universe, right? So he's the secondary creator. So Brahmaji is known as the creator, but he's a secondary creator. And here Arjuna is saying you are the original creator. So all the demigods, including Brahmaji, they all offer respectful obeisances unto you. And we know that Krishna gave all the knowledge to Brahmaji in the beginning, right? When he makes the universe, he gives all the knowledge to Brahmaji. So you remember the Bhagavatam first verse says, right? Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye, right? That you gave all the knowledge to the Brahma, the original, the Adi Kavi, the original knower or the philosopher. So they all offer respectful obeisances to you. Then he calls him Anant or unlimited one, Devesha, god of gods, Jagannivasa. Jagannivasa means the refuge or Nidhanam, Jagat Nidhanam or Nivasa, the shelter or refuge of the universe, right? Everything rests on you. You are Aksharam, meaning invincible or indestructible. You are the cause of Sad and Asat, meaning you are the cause and effect of everything that happens. But you are transcendental to those causes and effects. So whatever happens is sanctioned by you, but you are transcendental to that. So there are so many things happening in this material world. You are the cause and effect of that, but you are transcendental to that. So many things he's saying. Beautiful prayer by Arjuna. So the main thing for us to understand is that he's the original creator. So he's the original, like the analogy is given, the original powerhouse, right? Imagine there is a powerhouse, and then all the energy from that powerhouse goes to various places, right? So all those places depend on the original powerhouse for the energy, right? If the powerhouse goes down, then nothing else will be lighted up either. So they are ashrit on that powerhouse, and powerhouse is the ashraya. So in similar way, Krishna is the supreme shelter or the ashraya. Krishna is also known as Ashrit Tattva, meaning he is the shelter, whereas everybody else is ashrit on him. So they're taking shelter of him, right? They are ashrit. So that is what we have to understand. And everything comes from Krishna, all energies, all powers, all forces, whatever makes this manifestation possible, whatever sustains this manifestation, and whatever annihilates, everything comes from Krishna, right? All the energies, inferior energy, external energy, time energy, the jivas, everything is basically coming from Krishna. So all the qualities, all the opulences, all the expansions, all the manifestations of Krishna, plenary portions of plenary portions, everything, the supreme source is Krishna, right? In Bhagavatam, it is said, Ete chamsha kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Ridyanti Yuge Yuge, that all this rests on you, and this world, this creation which is ruled by Indra, Indrari Vyakulam Lokam, when that gets disturbed, Mridyanti yuge yuge. You come every yuga and yuga. Mridyanti yuge yuge. You come to settle it. But all the portions, ete chamsha kalapumsa, they're your kalai. Aapki kalai hain. They're your portions. They're your plenary portions, your expansions. So they're all Krishna's energies, everything. So is that clear? Can we move on, or anybody has anything to share? So here Prabhupada is saying Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all pervading. He's the soul of every soul. Devesha means that he's the controller of all demigods and above them all. He's the shelter of the whole universe. And here in the purport, Prabhupada has actually answered the question, is asking about how Brahmaji appears from the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is and Garbhodakshay Vishnu himself is a plenary expansion of Krishna, right? And then from Brahmaji, Lord Shiva comes. So therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma, are all appearing from Krishna himself, and they must offer their respectful obeisances. Shall we move on to do, let's see, maybe one last one? Is that okay? $11.38. Tvam adideva purusha puranas.
Tvam adideva purusha puranas.
Tvam asya vishwasya paramam nidhanam.
Tvam asya vishwasya paramam nidhanam.
Vetasi vedyam cha paramam cha dhama.
Vetasi vedyam cha paramam cha dhama.
Tvaya tatam veshvamanantarupa.
Tvaya tatam veshvam anantarupa.
Okay. I think Navya wants to read. Navya, go ahead.
You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the unlimited singularity of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes, all limitless form, the whole cosmic manifestations pervaded by you.
Okay. So Navya, do you know any verse where somebody else told Krishna that you are the oldest? You are the oldest person. I think many kids know this one. Advaitam achyutam anadim anantarupam. Adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atmabhaktao. Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Right? Similar thing that Brahmaji also said to Krishna, and Arjuna is also saying to Krishna, you are the oldest, right? So let's quickly see. Adi Deva, you are the oldest, or you are the source of all gods. You are Adi, original person. Purusha Puranas, you are the oldest person, right? And Tvam Asya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, you are this world's refuge, the most supreme refuge, supreme shelter. Like he said before also, he's saying again, you are the supreme refuge. And you are the complete knower of everything. And you are all that is knowable. You are all that is knowable, meaning you are the knowledge to be had by reading all the Vedas, and you are the knower of everything, right? Vedesh sarver aham ev vedya, Vedant krid ved evachaham. Like Krishna says, I am the compiler of the Vedas, I am the knowledge of the Vedas, I am to be known by the Vedas, I am the knower of the Vedas. So similar thing Arjuna is also saying. And you are the Paramam Chadhama, that you are the supreme destination, the supreme abode. And everything, this whole manifestation is pervaded by you, by this Anantarup, right? It is, Krishna is expanded everywhere in all the directions. In Bhagavatam also it is said that Krishna can be as unlimited or as small as a spark, and that's how he entered into the womb of Mother Uttara to save Parikshit Maharaj, right? He became so small, and Parikshit Maharaj looked at him. Who is this person that has come to save me? Who is this little person? And he absorbed that Brahmastra, like the Bhagavatam says, like the sun rays evaporate a dewdrop. And that Brahmastra, that's so fiery, so fearsome, that has the power to destroy the whole cosmic manifestation, which was aimed at Mother Uttara's womb. This small Krishna, he became so small, and he just absorbed it, it just evaporated like a whiff of air, like a dewdrop gets absorbed by the sun rays. So, and Parikshit Maharaj is looking at him, this little child in the womb. What is this person? Who is this person? So that person is the oldest supreme person that Arjuna is praying to here. Parikshit Maharaj's grandfather praying here, right? So, and then he's saying, actually, if you are okay, the next one or the next two are very, very small. Then we can reach 40. Is that okay? They're quick reads. $11.39. Vayuryamo Agnir Varuna Shashanka.
Vayuryamo Agni Varuna Shashankaha
Prajapatisvam Prapitamahascha.
Prajapatisvam Prapitamahascha.
Namo Namaste Stu Sahasra Kritva.
Namo Namaste Sahasra Kritvaha
Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste.
Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste.
Okay, can someone read this? Murli Prabhu, you wanted to read before?
Hare Krishna. You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. Hare Krishna.
Very bold. So here Arjuna is giving his obeisances. He says 1,000 times, Sahasra Kritva. I'm offering my obeisances again, and yet again. Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste. He says Namo Namaste twice. That I'm giving my obeisances to you, who is the supreme controller. You are the fire, you are the wind, you are the supreme controller. Yamo, Agni, the fire, Varuna, the water, and Shashanka is the moon. The Prajapatis are the first living creatures that come from Brahmaji, right? They populate the entire creation at the beginning of the creation. They populate. So those are Prajapatis. And you are the Pitama, great grandfather, right? Because if Brahmaji is, let's say, our father, and he's the father, he's Brahmaji's creator, he's Brahmaji's father, then you are Pitama, you're the grandfather. And so he's offering him obeisances thousands and thousands of times. This reminds me of the prayer we used to have as children. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhu cha sakha tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Anyone remembers that prayer? It's very in the same. And Arjuna is also offering similar prayers. He will call him Krishna everything. Mata, Pita, Guru, Pitama, Vidya, right? All the knowledge, everything, all the devas and Adi Deva, everything. Okay. Anyone wants to share? We can read this. Prabhupada has not given much purport on this. 11.40. Nama purustad atha prishtaste.
Nama pustadat astha pratasthate.
Namostuste sarvata eva sarva.
Namostute sarvata eva sarva.
Anantaviryamitavicramastvam
Anantaviryamitvikramatvam
Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarva.
Sarvam samapnoshi tatosi sarvaha.
Can somebody read this translation?
Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of the limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Haribol.
Haribol. So he's just continuing to pay his obeisances, and he's saying, I pay obeisances to you from all directions, from all sides, from behind, from front, from everywhere, because you are unlimited, right? Your forces, your powers. Vikrama means force. So Amita, Ananta, Amita Vikramas means unlimited force, and Ananta Virya means unlimited potencies, right? And you are the master of the limitless forces, limitless potencies. You are all pervasive in all directions. You are everything. Everything comes from you, right? Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. So you are everybody's supreme father. So I offer you respects, just like a child offers obeisances to his parents, but because Krishna is in all directions, and especially this Vishvarupa, he can see in all 10 directions. He's saying, I offer you obeisances from all sides, all directions, everywhere. Okay. Haribol, I think we can stop here. Anybody has any questions, thoughts? Did your question get answered, Avni, before? Okay.
Mataji?
Yes.
I was reading the purport on this last sloka, Mataji.
Yes.
The last sentence. Whoever comes before you, even the demigod is created by you. Also the personality of Godhead.
Can't hear you, Mataji.
This line, right, Mataji? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Mataji. So can you elaborate a little bit, Mataji?
Yes. Would anyone else like to? Mataji is asking, what does this line mean? So Prabhupada has quoted a shloka from Vishnu Puran that everybody comes from you. Whoever comes from you, even if he anything, a demigod, even if he be demigod, is created by whatever comes from you is created by you. So would anyone like to share their reflection on this? So basically,
More on the before you, Mataji. Like if the point, like saying whoever comes before you. So how would they come before Krishna?
Before meaning like whoever is in whoever is there, whoever is in front of you, whoever may be put in front of you or before you, anything. There is nothing that you can name in this creation that is not coming from Krishna. Even he be a demigod is created by you. So because demigods are considered the most supreme creations, right? Among all the various achar and achar, among all the living entities, demigods are considered the supremost, right? Like Brahmaji is considered the supremost, or Lord Shiva, or other demigods. So that is why they're saying, even if he's a demigod, he's created by you. What to speak of others? Anything you may put in front of you, whether it's a living or non-living entity, everything is coming from you. Whether it's a Gandharva, a Yaksha, a demon, a small ant, from Brahmaji, from down to anybody is created by you. So, and that is what Krishna said before, right? Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. I am the creator of everything. Everything comes from me. Matta sarvam pravartate. So that is what the Vishnu Puran verse is saying, that whatever is there is created by you, even if it be a demigod. Is that okay, Mataji? It's just a way of saying whatever comes before you doesn't mean that something is like before Krishna in the matter of time, not like time, but more like location, like something is in front of you. Anything is there is coming from you. Anybody else wants to share on this, Mataji's question? Is that okay? All right. Okay, shall we chant very quick? Yesterday was Ekadashi. So I hope everybody was able to do some extra reading or chanting or fasting. Okay, Hari Bol everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Vancha kaltarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Namo
Purve Gaur
Namaha.
Chandraya Radhikaya
Radhikaya
Tadalaye
Tadalaye.
Krishnaya Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Bhaktaya
Bhaktaya
Tadbhaktaya
Tadbhaktaya
Namo
Namo
Namah.
Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Everyone have a nice day. Hari Bol.